So I think it's pretty obvious that we can all say that we greatly enjoy music, some of us more so than others, but have you ever stopped to think about how music truly affects the brain? There's a lot of ways that it does, so that's what I'd like to talk to you all about. For starters, let's just look at how it can be used, the benefits of it, with how it can be used for treatment and enhancements. For starters, a lot of scientists believe that it can simply be used to distract the mind from different pains, similar to how jokes can. Another thing we've all heard of has been music therapy. A lot of people use that to calm and work through certain medical conditions. And also, according to medicalnewstoday.com, it's also been shown that in Taiwan, a study has been done where cancer patients who listen to music on a regular basis actually show that they have less symptoms as other patients do in terms of anxiety, depression, fatigue, and pain. However, one negative effect music can have is if the lyrics are bad, just like hanging out with bad friends, it can leave a bad influence on your mind. So another thing is that it's been proven to enhance areas of the brain. According to British Psychologist Society, music enhances the blood flow from up to your brain. And since language and music, the areas that process that in your brain, intertwine, it actually increases the blood flow to both of those areas. It also activates a very large portion of your brain. On the right hemisphere processes timbre and melody, while the left hemisphere processes rhythm and pitch, and neither shows no preference. So obviously music leaves a big impression on the brain, but what happens if we take a look at a piece of music by one of the greatest masters? I'm referring to a sonata for two pianos written by Mozart. This is known as the Mozart effect, and it's actually believed that this piece raises your IQ for a short amount of time. It's believed by the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine that this piece it enhances spatial temporal reasoning skills. So far, it's the only piece believed to do that, and as I said, it does increase the IQ level, but only for a short amount of time, no longer than 10 minutes. So the question now is the Mozart effect real, or is it just a myth? And some scientists say there's nothing special about this piece. They simply just say that it's because we have an appreciation and an understanding for the music and we enjoy listening to it. However, there was a study done with lab rats where there were 3 groups, each going through the same labyrinth, and one group was listening to the Mozart piece, another listening to composer Philip Glass music, and the other doing it in silence. And it turns out the group listening to Mozart finished the labyrinth significantly faster than the other two, and with significantly fewer errors. Now, So, another thing is this Mozart effect has to do with epilepsy also. Now, there was, according to epilepsyaction.org, there was a study in Taiwan that showed that 23 out of 28 people during an EEG listening to this music actually showed fewer epileptic activity while going through it. And another similar study displayed 47 out of 58 children also going through the same thing showed less activity, and that trend tended to continue afterwards. So the question is, could it lead to healing? Again, in Taiwan, 8 out of 11 children with difficult to control epilepsy and also with learning disabilities, they listened to the piece 1 hour before going to sleep each night over a 6-month span, and they ended up either having less seizures or had no seizures at all. And finally, a study in the U.S. of 2 groups of 73 adults and kids listened to Mozart over a year's span while sleeping, and 80% of the group listening showed a significant decrease in the number of seizures, and the other group showed only 36% decrease. And 24% of that 80% of the first group actually had no seizures at all. So again, we know that music shows a sign of healing, it shows enhancements, and it shows treatments. So the question now is, where else can music lead? So we know we'll always have it for entertainment, but could it potentially lead to neurological disorders? That just leaves for the future to find out. So, thank y'all.
That was really interesting.